Hey Watford fans, welcome back to the channel. The Christmas tree is up. We're very much into the festive December fixtures, and unfortunately, Watford have started this month with another away defeat. And for me, the more concerning thing is another game without a clean sheet. Now, I'm not going to sit here for too long and dissect the game tactically because, quite frankly, I don't feel like doing that. But I think for me, I'm seeing reoccurrences of issues now throughout the season that are starting to concern me. And one of them is our defensive structure. And really, as I said, our ability to keep clean sheets. Now, when I look at the players in that Watford defence, Bola, Pollock, Keben, Ngakia, I've praised them all individually at times this season for having fantastic games. Ngakia scored 2 goals against Oxford. Bola has been outstanding down the left-hand side. Kevin Keben has been up and down in form, but is still a very good defender on his day. And Matty Pollock is, of course, an aggressive player and a leader in this Watford team. So they all have their own individual qualities that I like. But as a four and as a unit, they just can't keep clean sheets, and I can't really put my finger on why. And I look at the wider squad and the players Javi has at his disposal, and I'm starting to think maybe it's time we see a change. And it's the prime opportunity to do it, right? We're in December now. There's fixtures Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. It's that time of year where you have to use your wider fringe squad players. And we have Abankwa, Max Elaine, Jeremy Petrie, Formosa Mendy. These are all players who are fit, available, injury-free, and ready to go. Yet we're not really seeing them play any minutes at all in this Watford side. So I think, looking ahead to this weekend against Norwich, a bit of rotation in them defensive positions wouldn't go amiss, in my opinion. The midfield we saw yesterday was Loser and Hector Kyprianou. That in itself is fine, although I'm not a huge fan of the 4-4-2 as a formation. I would love to see a 4-3-3 with maybe Imran, Pierre Duomo, and Pat Mendy in there. Although, given what we've seen so far this season, I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. So, yeah, the 4-4-2 it is for now. Although, as I've said before, plenty of times a change of shape for me is needed at some point this season. Out wide, we had Othman Mama on the left and Tom Ince on the right-hand side. They started the game brightly, but after we conceded that first goal, I did feel heads dropped. Attitudes maybe weren't where they should be from them Watford players yesterday. I think Ngakia, Keben, Hector are all culpable of getting wound up too much at times by Stansfield and Tommy Doyle. So that was a big bugbear of me. In the front two was Mamadou Doumbia and Luca Kiramgard. Now, I'm having second thoughts about these two as a strike partnership now, and I did call a few weeks ago for them to play more regularly together to see what they can do, but I'm just not quite convinced they work. I think Watford have, in hindsight, maybe done something wrong when it comes to number 9 recruitment at the club this season, because we have Vivaldo Semedo, Luca Kiramgard, and Mamadou Doumbia. Now, all three players are under 22 years old. They're all left-footed, and they're all of a similar profile as well. They're all tall, big, lanky strikers who first and foremost want to hold up the ball and lay it off to other players. Whereas I think in previous seasons at Watford, we've had, different variations. We've had Nagalo, we've had a Vidra, a Dini, a Brita Sombalonga when he was at the club, for example. So, yeah, I'm not so sure that 3 strikers of a similar profile, all left-footed, is the way to go. And none of them going into this season have any experience in the Championship as well. So that's my rant over when it comes to team selection. Talking about the game itself, Birmingham City run out 2-1 winners in this one at St Andrews. Did they deserve the 3 points? I'm not going to sit here and be biased. I think on paper, they created the bigger chances and deserved to win the game. That's 4 wins in a row at home for them now. And yeah, they're very close to them playoff position. So massive props to them. I thought Tommy Doyle was fantastic. I know Jay Stansfield was named man of the match on Sky Sports, but Tommy Doyle for me, my goodness me, what a pickup that is by the Blues. He is a superb footballer. He was all over the shop yesterday, defensively, attack, set pieces, corners, throws. He was doing absolutely everything for the Blues yesterday. And if he got injured, he would be a massive miss in their midfield. So Tommy Doyle, certainly my man of the match. I think the first goal was clearly avoidable. Watford did struggle at times to play out from Birmingham City's press, which is why maybe if one of Max Elaine or James Abank were playing, we would have maybe been able to progress the ball up the pitch a bit easier. Of course, Matty Pollock is, in my opinion, a really nice bloke and a great player on his day. What he doesn't have in his favour, though, is his turning circle. He turns a little bit like a tank at times, which is absolutely fine. You sometimes need a centre-back like that in your team. But Birmingham City were relentless in their pressure and how high they were pushing their defensive line. And Watford were forced into mistakes, and Hector Cipriani was dispossessed for the first goal. Pack was running through, and I just felt, again, we weren't aggressive enough in them situations. I've called out our aggression from set pieces before, but this time it was in open play, and all I wanted really was one of Matty or Kevin Caben to chuck themselves at the ball and maybe force him into an early shot or an error when trying to play the pass. We didn't do that. We gave him all the time and space in the world, and I think any professional footballer with decent striking ability is gonna get that on target and challenge the goalkeeper. And it was a very good strike, and they probably deserved to take the lead at that time. Albeit Watford, as I said, did start the game quite brightly through the likes of Ince and off-man Mama. The second goal, frustrating again. Ngakia and Caben, getting a bit mixed up on that one. Jay Stansfield, couple of nutmegs in there from him as well, which was a little bit embarrassing. He did really well to play through Damari Gray, and Gray is a player I've always liked. During his time at Leicester City, I thought he was fantastic. I think he then went out to the Middle East to play for a couple of years, as well as now at his boyhood club in Birmingham City. And what a player he is. I mean, him and Patrick Roberts, out wide yesterday were causing our fullbacks all sorts of issues. So, Birmingham City should be very excited to have them two players in their team. And what a strike it was by Damari Gray. Again, just calamitous defending by the Hornets. And we went into half-time 2-0 down, and I was feeling a little bit frustrated actually. I felt this was, a big opportunity to not necessarily win away from home, but certainly keep the confidence high. And, maybe nick a draw. Who knows what can happen. I thought Watford were out of it against Derby County when we were 2-0 down, and we come back to win 3-2. So I still had something in the back of my mind going into the second half that said, you know what, James, we could do this today. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. I did feel Watford started the second half with a lot more energy and pressure. We just became a bit more subdued. I know people spoke about the pitch being quite boggy and heavy to play on, but I'm not taking that excuse at all. Both teams have to play on the pitch, and Birmingham City did the job yesterday, so I'm not using the pitch as an excuse. But as the game went on, I did feel Watford tired, and looking at our substitutes and who we could bring on for some extra firepower, there weren't really too many options yesterday. As I alluded to earlier, Javi Gracia, for one reason or another, is choosing to leave out 4 or 5 really talented players who, for a lot of other championship teams, they probably start. Petrie, Abankwa, Formosa Mendy, Pierre Duomo, Papa Mendy, not really getting a go either. And our 2 attacking options on the bench were Vivaldo Semedo, who, let's be frank, has been very poor this season, bar a 10-minute spell against Hull, and Georgi Shakfatatse, who's still returning from injury. Other than that, we had no one on the bench. Iran Kunda has flown back to Australia to spend some time with his family, so hopefully he's okay and will return in good spirits in a couple of weeks. And Rocco Vata and Kwadwo Bar are out injured. So, Javi was limited in the substitutions he made. he could make, I should say. Georgie Shatfatatse come on though and impacted the game really nicely. It was his pass into Boller in behind that led to Othman Mama opening his Watford account. And that was a nice bit of football, actually. That's what I want to see as a Watford fan. You know, one-touch stuff, runs in behind, and clinical finishing. And Othman Mama did just that. So delighted for him and really thrilled that he's got his first goal in the yellow of Watford. So, what do I want to see heading into Norwich City? Well, we've got a whole separate match preview coming for that tomorrow, so do keep your eyes peeled. I think for me, a change of system would be nice. A 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 is what I want to see us play long term. We may lose as well a couple of players to the African Cup of Nations. Edu Kayembe is confirmed to be going. So this weekend, I believe, will be his last game at the club before he departs for that. Mamadou Doumbia has a big possibility of being called up for Mali as well. So again, we're losing a couple of players. We've got quite a lot out injured as well. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, but my confidence is still high. I have belief that this season can still be exciting for us and that we can achieve the goals we set out. But I think the Norwich game, the Sheffield Wednesday game and the Wrexham game, I want a minimum of 7 points from 9. I think Norwich City are clearly one of the worst teams in the division when it comes to points accrued. They have really talented players, so it's certainly not going to be a walkover. But if Watford are to be serious this year, we have to be beating Norwich City. And even more so, we have to be beating Sheffield Wednesday next Tuesday as well. I know they're in the shitter at the moment. Of course, Stefan Chanziri ran that club into the ground. They're in the process of getting new owners now, which I'm really pleased to hear about. But we have to capitalise on these situations. Football is a ruthless game, and Sheffield Wednesday have a completely decimated squad. So, yeah, Norwich, Sheffield Wednesday and Wrexham. For me, you've got to be getting 2 draws and a win. Ideally, 3 wins in a row if we're to make inroads on the top 6. So let me know your thoughts on Brum and the upcoming fixtures in the comments beneath the video. Don't forget to subscribe and keep an eye out for our Norwich City match preview. That will be coming to you tomorrow evening. The Christmas tree's up. I'm feeling festive. Let's hope Watford can win lots of matches this month. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.